Long ago in the land of Israel, there was a big conflict between two nations, the Israelites and the Philistines. These two groups were not getting along, and things got so tense that they decided to settle their differences through battle. The place where they chose to face off was in the valley of Elah, a spot that became famous for what happened next. The Philistines had a secret weapon, a giant of a man named Goliath from Gath. Goliath was not just tall, he was a mountain of muscle, over 9 feet tall, decked out in heavy armor that glinted under the sun. Every day he stepped forward from the Philistine camp and shouted across to the Israelites, daring anyone to fight him. "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he can fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us," he bellowed. The Israelites, including King Saul, were terrified. They knew that no ordinary soldier could defeat such a giant. This standoff continued for 40 days, with Goliath issuing his challenge every morning and evening, and nobody in Israel daring to accept it. Then along came David, a young shepherd boy from the town of Bethlehem. He wasn't a soldier. He was the youngest son of Jesse and had been sent to the battlefield only to bring food for his older brothers who were with Saul's army. When David arrived, he was surprised to see the Israelite army so scared and disheartened. Learning about Goliath's challenge, David was confused. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? David asked. David's words and his willingness to fight Goliath reached King Saul. Saul was doubtful at first, telling David, "You are not able to go against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David was not deterred. He explained to Saul how he had protected his father's sheep from lions and bears, saying, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Convinced by David's faith and courage, Saul agreed and offered him his own armor for the battle. But David was not comfortable in it. He wasn't used to fighting with such gear. Instead, he chose to go as he was, taking only his staff, 5 smooth stones he picked from a stream, and his sling. As David approached Goliath, the giant mocked him, cursed him by his gods, and threatened to feed his flesh to the birds and beasts. But David wasn't scared. He said to Goliath, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." The fight was short. David put a stone in his sling, swung it, and hit Goliath right in the forehead. The stone sank into the giant's forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. David then took Goliath's sword, killed him, and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. David's victory over Goliath was more than just a miraculous win in a battle. It was a powerful demonstration of faith and courage. It showed that physical size and strength could be overcome by belief in oneself and trust in a higher power. David's triumph brought him fame and set him on the path to becoming one of the greatest kings of Israel. This story from so long ago continues to inspire people today. It teaches us that no matter how big our problems seem, we shouldn't lose faith. With courage, determination, and trust in what's right, even the smallest among us can overcome the mightiest challenges. Sure, let's delve a bit more into the aftermath and the broader implications of David's victory over Goliath, continuing to keep the language simple and accessible. David beating Goliath wasn't just about the underdog winning, it showed how David's faith gave him strength. Unlike others who saw Goliath's size as a disadvantage, David saw an opportunity. He knew that with faith and the right approach, any challenge could be overcome. This story highlights the power of perspective. Where many saw a giant too big to hit, David saw a target too big to miss. David's approach teaches us about preparation and using our skills wisely. He didn't wear heavy armor or carry a sword because that wasn't his strength. Instead, he used a sling, a weapon he mastered as a shepherd. It reminds us to play to our strengths in tough situations. Moreover, David's story encourages us not to underestimate ourselves. Others might doubt us, but what truly matters is our belief in our abilities and our faith. David's confidence wasn't arrogance, it was belief in himself and his faith. Have faith in God and you will undoubtedly be victorious.